Hello everyone. Today we are going to see about brushing techniques. In brushing, the mechanical cleaning aims to regularly remove sufficient microorganism to leave a healthy plaque present, which cannot induce the gingival inflammation. The mechanical tooth cleaning includes toothbrushing and the interdental aids. In toothbrushing, it is the most common and potentially effective, and interdental aids are the secondary adjunct. The good plaque control practice are particularly important for periodontal patients because they have active infection or previously treated disease and they demonstrate susceptibility to the periodontal infections. So the toothbrushes are the most widely used oral hygiene aids. It is the principal instrument in general used for accomplishing the goal of plaque control. According to ADA Council on Dental Therapeutic, the toothbrush is designed primarily to promote cleanliness of the teeth and oral cavity. Objectives of toothbrushing: to clean the teeth and interdental space of food remnants, then debris and stains, then to prevent the plaque formation, to disturb the and remove plaque, and to stimulate and massage the gingival tissue, and to clean the tongue. Then toothbrushes may vary in size, design, as well as in length, hardness, and arrangement of bristles. The type of toothbrushes are manual toothbrush, power toothbrush, sonic and ultrasonic, and ionic toothbrushes. Many authors recommend soft filament bristle to be better in view of the damage of the hard filament may cause. First is the manual toothbrushes. The ideal characteristic of the toothbrushes are first is handle size appropriate to user age and dexterity. Then head size appropriate to size of patient mouth. The uh, use of end rounded nylon or polyester filament not larger than 0.009 inches in diameter. Then use of soft bristle configuration as defined by acceptable international industry standards. Then bristle pattern which enhance plaque removal in approximal space and along the gum line. Then parts of the toothbrush: uh, the handle, the part of the grasp in hand during the toothbrushing. Head is the working end of the toothbrush that hold the bristle or filaments. Then tuft, cluster of bristles or filaments secured in the head. And brushing plane, the surface formed by the free end of the bristles or the filaments. And shank is the section that connect the head and handles. Then toothbrush bristles, they can be hard or soft, natural or synthetic, or multi-tufted or single tufted. Natural bristles are made from hair of hog or wild boar. Then synthetic bristles are made of nylon and are uniform in size and elasticity, resistant to fracture and do not get contaminated. Then ADA specification for the toothbrushes. It should be the 1.25 inches in length, 516 to 3/8 inches in the width, 2 to 4 rows of the bristles, 5 to 12 tufts per row. Then there is a modification also in that long and contoured handle, then double angulation of handle and neck, and also they given the concave surface of brushing plane and specific indicator bands. Then power toothbrushes. First power toothbrush was designed in 1939 and marketed in 1960s. Also known as automatic or electrical toothbrushes. The head of these brushes also oscillate in side to side motion or in the rotary motion. The frequency of the oscillation is around 40 Hz in ordinary powered toothbrush. The advantages are increased patient motivation resulting in better patient compliance, increased accessibility in interproximal and lingual tooth surfaces. Then no specific brushing technique required. Use less brushing force than manual brushes. Then brushing timer is incorporated in some brushes to help the patient in brushing for the required duration. Then indication. Uh, yeah, the indication are the in young children, handicap patients, individual lacking manual dexterity, patient with prosthodontic or endosseous implants, then orthodontic patients, then institutional patient who are dependent on healthcare providers, and patient on supportive periodontal therapy. Then sonic and ultrasonic toothbrushes. This type of toothbrushes produce high frequency vibration, that is 1.6 megahertz, which leads to phenomena of the cavitation and acoustic micro steaming. Then this phenomena aids in stain removal as well as the disruption of the bacterial cell wall. Then ionic toothbrushes, they change the surface surface charge of the tooth by influx of the positive charge ions. The plaque with similar charge is thus repelled from the tooth surface and attracted by the negatively charged bristle. However, further studies are required for the ionic brushes. Then toothbrushing procedure. This succeeding section will consider the different brushing technique: the grasp of brush, the area of limited access, supplementary brushing for occlusal surface and tongue, then possible detrimental effect from improper brushing as well as contraindications and the care of the toothbrushes. Then grasp of the brush. The objectives are the manipulation of the brush for successful plaque removal can be related to the manner in which brush is held. With the firm, comfortable grasp, the following can be expected. First is the control of the brush during all movements. Then effective positioning at the beginning of each brushing stroke. Follow through during the complete stroke and repositioning for the next stroke. Sensitive to the amount of pressure applied. Procedure: grasp toothbrush handle in the palm of the hand with the thumb against the shank. Then direct filament in the direction of needed for placement on the teeth, and direction is dependent on the brushing method to be used. Adapt the grasp for the various position of the brush head and on the tooth throughout the procedure, and adjust the permit unrestricted movement of the wrist and arm. Then in sequence, the procedure in brushing should have a definite sequence. To prevent omission of an area, it is recommended that brushing follow from the molar region of one arch around the opposite side, then back around the lingual or facial of the same quadrant. Then each brush placement must overlap the previous one for the thorough coverage. Then encourage the patient to begin by brushing one of the following which most meet the individual need, that is area that are most frequently missed, and also the area that are most difficult for brush placement and manipulation, such as the right-handed brusher or the left side for the left-handed brushers. And suggest that sequence be changed at least once each day so that same area are not always brushed last when the time may be limited and plaque removal may be less complete. Then frequency of brushing. The plaque growth occurs within hours and must be completely removed at least every 48 hours in predominantly healthy subjects to prevent the inflammations. However, the majority of individuals, including the periodontal patients, are usually not able to remove dental plaque completely as a result of the daily brushing. These results have limited clinical relevance. From a practical standpoint, it is generally accepted that toothbrushing should be performed at least once a day, particularly in the patient showing gingival inflammation. So, because in such cases, and condition of the soft tissue favors the plaque accumulation. Thus, in spite of the lack of scientific basis, the general recommendation to the brush the teeth twice daily is generally accepted. Saxer et al. In 1998 demonstrated that the regular patients usually believe they spend more time than they actually do. The best estimate of actual mean to the toothbrushing time for the adult seems to be range between 30 and 30 to 60 seconds. However, brushing should be done at least around 2 to 3 minutes. The toothbrushing technique. The ideal brushing technique is the one that allows the complete plaque removal in the least possible time without causing any lesion to the tissue. This method can be categorized primarily according to the pattern of motion when the brushing and are primarily historical interest. Uh, these are the some toothbrushing technique, that is enroll, row method of modified Stillman technique, or in a vibrator, that is Stillman, Charters and Bass technique, circular, that is Phones technique, vertical, that is Leonard technique, and horizontal scrub method. The first is we are going to see horizontal scrub method. This method brushing require vigorous horizontal, vertical, and circular motion. It is a virtual freestyle of the brushing scene. The disadvantage of this brushing technique is not very effective at plaque removal. Tooth abrasion and gingival recession may be seen. So this is a video showing about the horizontal scrub method.
And what did you take on? For the horizontal technique, we place the brush on either side of the canal at a 90-degree angle with bracket curve, and follow the same motion throughout the action position. For the inside, we follow the same technique on either side of the canal. For the front, we go from the gums to the right surface.
Then, then the roll technique. This method of brushing is also known as a rolling stroke method or ADS method or sweep method. It works fairly well for patients with anatomically normal gingival tissue. Indication are children, adult patient with limited dexterity, useful for preparatory instruction for modified Stillman technique since the initial brush placement is the same. The technique in this method, the bristles are placed at 45-degree angle and lightly rolled across the tooth surface towards the occlusal surface. This technique requires some flexibility around the wrist, and the advantages are the provided gingival massage and stimulation. And the disadvantages are brushing too high during the initial placement can lacerate the alveolar mucosa. The tendency to use quick swing stroke resulting in the no brushing for the cervical third of the tooth, since the brush tips pass over the rather than into the area of the, and likewise for the interproximal area. The replacing the brush with filament tips directed into the gingiva may produce punctuate lesions. Then Bass method or circus cleaning method. It is the most widely accepted and most effective method for the removal of dental plaque present adjacent and directly underneath the gingival margin. Then indications. Indications are the particularly adaptable for open interproximal areas, cervical areas beneath the height of contour of the enamel and exposed root surfaces. The recommended for routine patient with or without periodontal involvement. Then technique, the bristles are placed in this picture. We can see the bristles are placed among the gum line at the 45-degree angle. Bristles should contact with the both tooth surface, partly on the tooth surface and partly on the gingiva. The stroke are repeated around the 20 to 20 times for the three teeth at a time. So this in second page, in second picture, the general brush the outer tooth surface of 2 to 3 teeth using the vibrating back and forth motion, and move brush in next 2 to 3 teeth and it repeat again. Then on the lingual aspect of the anterior, this is a lingual aspect. The brush is inserted vertically and the heel of the brush is pressed into the gingival sulcus and proximal surface at the 45-degree angle. Then the bristles are then activated, and in occlusion surface, here we can see in this occlusion surface are cleansed by the pressing the bristle against the pit and fissure and then activate the bristles. So advantages are effective method for removing plaque, then provide good gingival stimulation and easy to learn. Disadvantages are overzealous brushing may convert the very short strokes into the scrub brush technique and cause injury to the gingival margin. It is time consuming, dexterity requirement is too high for the certain patients. So this is a video of the modified Bass technique.
In this video, let's learn regarding modified Bass technique of brushing. The modified Bass technique of brushing is the most preferred technique as it is known to preserve the gingival health. Now let's see how this technique is performed. For the modified Bass technique, first we need to hold the brush head at a 45-degree angulation to the long axis of the tooth along the gingival margin like this, then followed by which the brush head is slightly moved back and forth in vibratory motion, giving slight flexing of the bristles so that the bristle tips enter the gingival sulcus and cleans the sulcular area also. Henceforth, this technique is also called the sulcular method of brushing. Followed by the vibratory strokes, which is usually done 20 strokes at a time, followed by which we need to give a occlusal strokes to clean the interproximal area around 4 to 5 times. Then the occlusal surface of the tooth is also similarly cleaned. Then the brush head is replaced back anteriorly and an overlapping strokes is given, and this is followed to cover the entire arch. Following the facial cleaning, a similar method is also
So indications are the routine oral hygiene for oral routine hygiene measures, intracellular cleansing. Then advantages are the excellent surface cleansing, good interproximal and gingival cleaning, good gingival stimulation, and disadvantages are the dexterity of the wrist is required. So this video is the video of the Stillman technique and modified Stillman technique.
Hi there, my name is Nicole. Today in this oral hygiene instruction video, we will go over two brushing methods. First is the Stillman's brushing method. Stillman's brushing method was designed for massage and stimulation as well as cleaning the cervical areas of the teeth. We will position our toothbrush on the tissues directly and angle the toothbrush filaments slightly apical or going towards the root of the teeth. Now a slight circular movement is done several times while applying light pressure, just enough to show the tissues to turn white. After several repeated movements, we overlap and move to the next area. Still doing circular motions, using light pressure. The linguals are done the same. We angle the toothbrush, we apply the light pressure, and do the small circular movements. For the anteriors, we angle the toothbrush, do the small circular movements, massaging the tissue, and we continue to overlap when we move to the next area. The second technique is the modified Stillman method. In this method, only a small modification is added, which is the roll method. We again place the brush at a 45-degree angle directly on the gingival tissue and make small circular movements. But now we will roll the toothbrush down to the crown of the tooth. This will be especially helpful for patients with gingival recession to achieve adequate
So this is the modified Stillman technique. Indication are dental plaque removal from the cervical area below the height of the contour of the enamel and from exposed proximal surface. General application for the cleaning tooth surface and massage of gingiva. The recommended for cleaning in area with the progression gingival recession and root exposure to prevent the abrasion tissue destruction. So disadvantage are the it is time consuming. Improper brushing can damage the epithelial attachment. Then this is a video of charter technique. Mm,
Hello and welcome.
the charters method, the indications are individual having open interdental space with the missing papilla and exposed root surface, those wearing fixed partial denture and orthodontic appliances, for patient who have had a periodontal surgery, uh, and the patient with moderate interproximal gingival recession. Then advantages are the massage and stimulation for the marginal and interdental gingiva. So disadvantages are the brush ends do not engage the gingival sulcus to remove the subgingival bacterial accumulations. In some area, the correct brush placement is limited or impossible. Therefore, modification become necessary, which add to the complexity of the procedure. And the requirement in digital dexterity are high. Then in the vertical method, that is the Leonard method. Leonard advocated a vertical stroke in which maxillary and mandibular teeth are brushed separately. The technique, are the bristle of the toothbrush are placed at 90-degree angle to the facial surface of teeth, and with the teeth edge to edge, place the brush with the filament against the teeth at right angle to the long axis of the teeth. The brush the vigorously without great pressure with a stroke that is mostly up and down on the tooth surface with just a slight rotation on circular movement after striking the gingival margin with force, and the inner pressure is used. It is not indented that the upper and lower teeth shall be brushed in same series of the stroke. The teeth are placed edge to edge to keep the brush slipping over the occlusal or incisor surface. The advantages are the most convenient and effective for small children with deciduous teeth, and the disadvantages are the interdental space of the permanent teeth and adult are not properly cleaned. Then the phone techniques. This is the video phone techniques.
Hello and welcome to the phones technique demonstration, also called as the circular technique. For this technique, we bring together the upper and the lower teeth, and we make large circular motions over them, making sure the brush is at a 90-degree angle and the bristles are resting over the teeth, and we make large circular motions throughout the arch of dentition. This technique is best for children who are learning to brush and patients with less dexterity.
Indian children, physically or emotionally handicapped individuals, and patients who lack dexterity. Advantages are it is easy to learn, shorter time required, and disadvantages are possible trauma to gingiva. Dental area are not properly clean, or detrimental for the adult is especially who use the brush vigorously. The physiological method or Smith method. The physiological method was described by Smith and advocated later by the Bell. It was based on the principle that the toothbrush should follow the physiological pathway that is followed by food when it travels over the tissue during the mastication. Then technique, the bristles are pointed incisively or occlusally and then move along with the along and over the tooth surface and gingiva. The motion is gently sweeping from incisal or occlusal surface over to facial surface and progressing towards and over the gingiva. It is almost an attempt to duplicate nature's self-cleansing and gingival stimulation mechanism during the mastication of the food. Advantages are the natural self-cleaning mechanism. Supragingival cleaning is good. Disadvantages are interdental space and circular area. The teeth are not properly cleaned. Then maintenance of the toothbrush. The toothbrush may act as a vehicle in breeding and transmitting various organisms in the oral cavity. Storing toothbrushes in dry areas is necessary since the wet surface may allow bacterial proliferation. Toothbrushes should be kept in open air with the head in upright position with no contact with the other brushes. So in conclusion, the mechanical plaque control demand active participation of the individual subject, and therefore the establishment of the proper oral home care habit is process that to a great extent involve and depend on the behavioral changes. When implementing behavioral changes, the dental profession should try to ensure that the patient recognize his or her oral health status and the role of his or her personal oral hygiene procedure in the prevention of caries and periodontal disease, and they should encourage the patient to take responsibility for his or her own oral health. Then oral hygiene programs therefore should include the components such as self-assessment, self-examination, self-monitoring, and self-instruction. With this purpose, the several devices and chemical agents have been used in order to make dental plaque more evident to patient. Reinforcement of daily plaque control practices and routine visit to the dental office for maintenance care are essential to the successful plaque control and long-term success of the